My name is Olivia Winters, and I've spent the last decade being invisible. Not literally, of course, but in the way that truly matters to my family, success, power, and most importantly, money. The irony? I'm worth more than all of them combined. They just don't know it yet. I stood in front of the mirror in my modest apartment, adjusting my simple black blazer. Nothing designer, nothing flashy. Exactly the image I carefully cultivated. My phone buzzed with another message from my mother. "Darling, please come to the celebration dinner tonight. Your brother's promotion is such wonderful news for the family." Marcus, my older brother, had just been named CEO of Winters International, our family's technology company. The golden child had finally ascended to his throne. I typed back a polite acceptance, knowing exactly how the evening would play out. The restaurant was exactly what I expected: overpriced, pretentious, and dripping with old money. The kind of place where the menu doesn't list prices because if you have to ask, you can't afford it. My family was already seated at the prime table, champagne flowing freely. "Olivia," my mother called out, her voice carrying that familiar note of carefully masked disappointment. "We weren't sure you'd come. You're so busy with your investments." The way she said investments made it sound like I was running a lemonade stand. If only she knew that my small investment company, Shadow Valley Partners, controlled nearly 60% of Winters International through a complex web of shell corporations and silent partnerships. Marcus stood up, resplendent in his custom suit, his new Patek Philippe watch glinting under the chandelier lights. "Little sister, finally decided to join the real business world? I could always use someone to handle the coffee runs at that office." Our father chuckled, raising his glass. Now, Marcus, I'm sure Olivia's doing fine with her little venture." Though he turned to me, his eyes sharp, "You could have had a real career at Winters. We offered you a position straight out of business school." I smiled, taking a sip of water. Yes, as Marcus's assistant. I preferred to make my own way. And what a way it is, Marcus smirked. Still working out of that tiny office downtown. Well, I'm about to sign the biggest deal in Winters history, $50 million merger with Tech Solutions. But you wouldn't understand the complexities of such things. If he only knew that Tech Solutions was one of my holdings acquired specifically for this moment. "Congratulations, Marcus. That sounds like quite the achievement." My mother beamed at him. "Marcus has always had such a head for business. Remember when he was just 10 and started that little baseball card trading venture? You mean when he took my rare Mickey Mantle card and sold it without my permission?" I asked quietly. "Oh, darling, that was ages ago. You need to let these things go." My mother waved her hand dismissively. "Look at him now, CEO at 35. While you're still," she trailed off, unable to even describe what I did. The evening continued in this vein, a steady stream of praise from Marcus interspersed with subtle digs at my life choices. I sat quietly, picking at my overcooked salmon, letting their words wash over me. Tomorrow would change everything, but tonight I would let them have their moment. As dessert arrived, Marcus launched into another story about his brilliant business acumen. "The Tech Solutions deal is just the beginning. Once we acquire them, Winters International will dominate the market. The board meeting tomorrow is just a formality." I checked my phone, hiding a smile at the email that had just arrived. My team had finished the final preparations. Tomorrow's board meeting would be anything but a formality. "Speaking of the merger," my father interjected, "I heard a rumor that some mystery investor has been buying up shares through various shell companies. Should we be concerned?" Marcus laughed, adjusting his Italian silk tie. "Please, Dad. I've got everything under control. This deal is bulletproof. By this time tomorrow, Tech Solutions will be ours, and Winters International will be unstoppable." I excused myself early, citing a morning meeting. As I stood to leave, Marcus called out, "Hey sis, maybe once this deal goes through, I can throw some consulting work your way. Help you get a real business going." "That's thoughtful of you, Marcus," I replied, gathering my non-designer purse. "Actually, I do have a meeting tomorrow. Something about a major company acquisition." "Oh," my mother perked up, finally showing interest in my work. "What company?" I smiled. "You'll find out soon enough." That night, in my home office, which was decidedly larger and more impressive than the small downtown space my family knew about, I reviewed the documents one final time. Years of careful planning had led to this moment. My phone rang. It was David, my head of legal. Everything's set for tomorrow, Olivia. The share transfers have been confirmed, and all the paperwork is in order. Are you sure you want to do this? It's going to be quite a shock for them. I looked at the family photo on my desk, taken 15 years ago at my business school graduation. I was standing slightly apart from the others, Marcus front and center, already being groomed for leadership. That was the day they offered me the assistant position, the day I decided to forge my own path. Yes, I'm sure, I replied. It's time they learned that success doesn't always wear a designer label. I hung up and walked to my window, looking out over the city lights. Tomorrow Marcus would walk into that boardroom expecting to sign his triumphant merger deal. Instead, he'd find out that his little sister owned not only Tech Solutions, but the majority of Winters International itself. Tomorrow, being invisible would finally pay off. The next morning, I stood in my private elevator ascending to the top floor of Shadow Valley Partners' real headquarters. The building, a gleaming tower of glass and steel, was actually twice as tall as Winters International's offices, not that my family had ever noticed. "Good morning, Ms. Winters," my assistant Michael greeted me. "The Winters International team arrived 10 minutes ago. Your brother seems impatient." I smiled, adjusting my custom-tailored Armani suit, an outfit my family would never see me wear. "How many times has he mentioned being CEO?" "7, and counting. He's also threatened to fire 3 of our receptionists." Perfect. I checked my reflection in the polished elevator doors. Gone was the carefully cultivated image of the unsuccessful sister. Today, I would finally be myself. "Is everything ready?" Michael nodded, handing me a leather portfolio. "Contracts are prepared, security is in position, and the board members are all present." Also, he smirked, I had the photographer position themselves for the best angle of their faces when you walk in. The main conference room of Shadow Valley Partners was designed to impress. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city, and the massive oak table could seat 50. Currently, it held the entire Winters International board, their legal team, and of course, my family. I watched through the one-way glass as Marcus paced the room, checking his watch every 30 seconds. My father sat at one end of the table, attempting to maintain his dignified CEO emeritus pose but clearly annoyed. My mother was there too, probably invited to witness Marcus's moment of triumph. "Where is this mysterious CEO?" Marcus demanded, his voice carrying through the glass. "Don't they know who I am?" "I'm the CEO of Winters International." 8 times now, Michael whispered. I took a deep breath. Let's not keep them waiting any longer. The double doors opened and I walked in. The reaction was immediate. Marcus froze mid-stride. My father's carefully maintained composure cracked. My mother's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, spilling across the mahogany table. "Olivia," Marcus sputtered. "What? What are you doing here?" "This is a private meeting. Security." I walked calmly to the head of the table. "Security won't be coming, Marcus. They work for me. Everyone in this building works for me." "What is this nonsense?" my father demanded, standing up. "We're here to meet with the CEO of Shadow Valley Partners about the Tech Solutions merger." "You were meeting with the CEO," I replied, sitting down and opening my portfolio. "I'm Anna Winters, founder and CEO of Shadow Valley Partners. Though most people know us through our various subsidiaries, like Tech Solutions." The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus's face had gone from red to white to an interesting shade of gray. My mother was frantically looking between me and my father, waiting for someone to explain that this was all a joke. "This is impossible," Marcus finally managed. You work out of that tiny office downtown. You're barely making ends meet. You're..." A carefully crafted image. I cut him off. "That small office, it's one of hundreds of properties I own. While you were busy mocking my little investment company, I was building an empire. Shadow Valley Partners controls interests in over 200 companies worldwide, including, as of last year, a majority stake in Winters International." My father found his voice. "You're lying. I would know if someone had acquired that many shares." I nodded to Michael, who began distributing folders. Shell companies, blind trusts, offshore accounts, all perfectly legal, just well hidden. "You taught me the importance of controlling information, Dad. Remember?" Or was that lesson only meant for Marcus? The board members were flipping through the documents, their expressions shifting from skepticism to shock to something approaching fear. The numbers don't lie, and these numbers told a very clear story. Shadow Valley Partners, my company, owned 57% of Winters International. But the merger, Marcus stammered. Tech Solutions agreed to sell to us. Tech Solutions agreed to sell to Winters International. I corrected him because I ordered them to. I've owned Tech Solutions for 3 years. This entire merger was orchestrated by me. My mother finally spoke, her voice trembling. Why, Olivia? Why go to all this trouble? I leaned forward, meeting each of their eyes in turn. Because 15 years ago, you decided I wasn't worth investing in. You offered me a position as Marcus's assistant, claiming it was for my own good. You said I didn't have what it takes to succeed on my own. So I set out to prove you wrong. And now, my father asked quietly, now things are going to change. I pulled out the final contract. Marcus, you're right. This merger is going through, but not the way you planned. Tech Solutions will acquire Winters International, not the other way around. The company will be restructured under Shadow Valley Partners management. Marcus jumped up. You can't do this. I'm the CEO. A position that requires board approval, I reminded him. And since I control the majority of shares, I let the implication hang in the air. The next hour was a blur of signatures, legal requirements, and shocked silences. Marcus was removed as CEO to be replaced by someone of my choosing. My father would retain a position on the board, but without his previous executive powers. The company name would remain Winters International. I wasn't completely heartless. As the board members filed out, leaving just my family, Marcus slumped in his chair. All this time, you were playing us. No, Marcus, I was building something. Something bigger than you could imagine while you were busy taking credit for other people's work. I stood up, smoothing my suit. By the way, I still have that Mickey Mantle card. I bought it at auction last year for considerably more than you sold it for. My mother reached for my hand. Darling, surely we can work something out. We're family. I gently pulled away. Yes, we are. And that's why I'm not dismantling the company or firing everyone. But things will be different now. Success isn't just about wearing the right clothes or having the right title. It's about creating real value. Something I learned on my own, no thanks to any of you. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. Oh, and Marcus, about that coffee run. I take mine black, 2 sugars. You can bring it to my office tomorrow morning. The big one, top floor. The next few months transformed Winters International. Under Shadow Valley Partners' leadership, the company expanded into new markets, developed cutting-edge technologies, and doubled its market value. I appointed competent executives based on merit rather than family connections. Marcus eventually found a position at another firm, hopefully having learned the value of humility. My parents took longer to adjust to the new reality, but gradually our relationships began to heal. Not because of my success, but because they finally saw me, really saw me, for the first time. These days, when people ask about my path to success, I tell them the truth. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one you should watch most carefully. And sometimes the best revenge isn't proving others wrong. It's proving yourself right. As for that small downtown office, I kept it as a reminder that appearances can be deceiving. After all, success doesn't always wear a designer label. Sometimes it sits quietly in the corner, building an empire while no one's watching.